start sometime. It's going to start. It's going to start at some point. It will do. It just will.
I peaked too early. I was spinning before it went live.
Oh, bless. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Studio Rats Q&A Live number 247.
Howdy doody.
You keep coming back for this rubbish, don't you? My name's James Ivy.
I'm Paul Drew.
Who's currently having a shake of chocolate. You are very welcome along to our weekly takeover of the interwebs. We have much to discuss. There's lots going on this week. Lots of good stuff, some bad stuff, and some damn right ugly stuff. But before all that, you know, I don't make the rules. This stuff is set in stone. What have you been up to, mate?
So, been an eventful week. Hold on, new amplifiers turned up.
Woo! Look at that, baby one.
We'll talk about that. Actually, let's talk about that now. Look, it's
that's great.
It's AMS. Twister 5. So 5 watt.
Right.
Loud as hell.
Right.
AMS amplifiers. Look at that.
What are the chances?
5 watt, loud as hell.
Right.
Reverb, fat switch. So it drives. You can drive it, but it's primarily designed as a sort of pedal platform.
So single channel.
Single channel, but it's got this fat control.
How are they spelling fat?
The way that you'd spell fat, mate.
P-H-A-T.
I see what you mean. Like fat, as in like a fat neck.
Yeah.
Which is switchable on a foot switch. So you can switch that in and out, which adds like a bit of a boost.
Nice.
It's quite a bit of a boost actually, and thickens everything up. Single EL84 power tube.
Right.
Single 12x7. I can't remember the actual. It's not 12x7, but it's like a 12x7 preamp tube.
AT7 was the.
No, it's not. No, it's one I haven't heard of before.
All right. Okay.
Sounds really good. And like all AMS amplifiers, you can run it quiet. So even though it's 5 watt, I mean, you know, we talk about this all the time. Like how loud is 5 watts is still
can be deafening. Yeah,
very loud. It's very loud. But AMS amplifiers, and the same with this amp here as well, you can run them really quiet, sort of whisper volumes, and they sound great, which a lot of amplifiers don't. I don't know how he does it, but that's really impressive. So a review coming to that next week.
Awesome.
Some pedals have turned up, which I want to talk about in a minute.
Nice.
Yeah, really great. Oh, and the Chase Bliss brothers turned up.
Is it the brothers or is it the brothers?
The brothers.
Brothers, as in it's your brother.
Well, I'll show you. So
brother.
One of these turned up. So can you see that lot?
Oh, nice.
So the brothers turned up, and this Pamco tone oven.
Yeah.
As well. That is awesome. That's like it's a boost and overdrive.
Right.
But it's a boost that doesn't cut it doesn't do the tube screamer thing where it cuts the bottom end.
So it doesn't
cuts a little bit too much bottom end, I think.
Ooh.
So slightly disappointed about that.
Oh, Phil's going to be very upset with you.
No. I've already had a chat with them about that. About that, and I can show it now because I might as well get it all over and done with. And we should do this at the start of the week, at the start of the show anyway, because then more people tune in. Yeah. And another Temco pedal called a distorter, really nicely built pedals. So it's a drive and a fuzz with a clean boost.
Nice.
Yeah, really good. Haven't really tried. I mean, I plugged it in, but I haven't really got to grips with that one yet. But the tone oven is really good. The guitar that I was talking about last week.
Yes.
Tomorrow, which is I don't think I showed it. I think I talked about it.
I think you did show it, but
did I show it?
It's pretty as hell. I think
it's great. It's been set up now. I've set it up to exactly how I want it, and it's a peach.
Is it a keeper?
Oh yeah, it's a keeper. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
It's my favorite.
It's super light.
It's 6.6 pounds.
The neck looks stunning.
Yeah, it's so it's bird's eye maple. I'm not a massive fan of bird's eye maple, to be honest.
No, I'm sorry, I like that. I know I'm
like that?
Captain Tasteless, but
yeah, I think bird's eye maples is. They used to use it quite a lot in the 90s, and it's a little bit grandma's coffee table for me. Well, I quite like the roast bit. It's roasted bird's eye maple, stainless steel frets, and
nice
usual sort of Sir stuff. But it's because it's Polonia, it's incredibly lightweight, and it sounds great.
Because this time last week you were, a little indecisive. I think is the understatement of the week.
Because it came and the trem block was sticking up like that,
right,
and it wasn't playing right. It was so I kept adjusting it. I couldn't get it, and all of a sudden it just went ding, and just everything settled, and the action's perfect and
awesome.
Well, really easy. It's such an easy guitar to play.
I look forward to coming over and abusing it.
Yeah. What else? I'm trying to think. Anything else that's turned up? No, a couple of things coming later this week, but I think that's it. What about yourself? So, what have you been up to?
I've kind of been locked in here doing all the edits for the videos we shot this time last week. So that's took a few days. Put a video out for a new Lewitt microphone piece of software, a kind of virtual room thing, which has been quite interesting. That's doing okay. Lots of new stuff arriving, some of which I can't talk about, some of which I kind of can. Playing with the FM3. Oh my god, that thing's good. That is now permanently plumbed into the rig, so I can just, when something else is happening and I think, I fancy a noodle. Just kind of working on some pack ideas for the FM3 because it's fun. The only problem is that all the stuff I go, I could do that. It's already been done.
What do you mean?
So, I listen. There's a couple of kind of Gary Moore-esque patches in there, which are really good and really close. I'm like, there's no point in doing that because it's already been done. So it's
I see. We're already inside the FM.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem with the fractal stuff. The problem with the fractal
presets are so good.
That's the problem with the fractal stuff because the presets are so good that you almost don't need to.
The Gilmore presets are good, not bob on, in my opinion. So there's some room for some Gilmore-esque type stuff.
That sounds like a video how to make these patches sound better.
Yeah. And I'd like to do one a bit more about the FM3 setup and the workflow and kind of actually how I would build patches. I think I'm kind of getting my head around it first before I start telling everyone how to do it. I want to know how to do it first.
Yeah.
And then today I've been down to the Big Smoke, down to Londinium.
Why'd you do that for?
Money.
Yeah.
Shooting with a guy called Ian Holtquist, who is a composer and arranger and stuff for film and TV, and really, really interesting day of just chatting about stuff. And I promised I wouldn't say it, so I'm not going to say.
Say what? Oh no! Don't say that. Also, don't say. What's the other one you tried to leak out earlier? Dante. That's it. Never say Dante.
So yeah, busy week. Lots going on. There's lots of new stuff coming. TSR Jivey Talks Tech is busy and stuff. So all is well and beautiful in the world. Should we get into some of the other beautiful things and beautiful people in the world?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Sound of Vision, a David Bowie tribute show.
Sound of Vision.
There we go. You're so much better at the David Bowie impression than me. Even guys, I've just hit the like button, so come on all. It just takes a second. Cheers, Sound of Vision. Yeah, give us a like, everyone, because it really does help. It really does help. Farid, hello mate. He says evening Farid. Third, actually, Plexico. Third, mate. Hold on. Damn, some updates happening. Audio great, thank you, mate. Evening, everybody. Evening, Chris. Video great. Oh, that's a first. Damn, not first, he says.
Oh, hello.
AMS, Ben from, I'm guessing it's Ben. Hi, guys, he says. And he's got his
thumbs are up, or the.
No, he's doing his.
Okay, yeah.
Fernando, hi from Spain. Hi, Fernando. Walter, hello mates from Florida. Any tutorial videos for Line 6 Pod Go? Damn. No. That's really not bad.
It's not a bad shout, is it?
No, it's not a bad shout. Maybe.
I'm going to post the link for tonight's show. So if anybody wants to join in the fun, please use the link. You don't need to use the link to watch the show or to enjoy the show. Well, you probably need brain surgery to enjoy the show. But
it's not.
Yeah, if you fancy joining in the fun, just make sure you're somewhere quiet, got a camera on. If you haven't got your camera on, you will not be allowed in. It's the rules.
We've never had any problems with people exposing themselves, but
there's always a first time.
Always a first
and
time.
that was you.
Yeah. Nick Jet, sponsor in the chat, paying off live. Sponsor in the chat?
AMS amps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, not sponsor. No, not sponsoring. Hold on a second. He told me he wasn't coming.
He lied. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I felt fine. Now I feel inadequate. I was doing so well.
Well, it's the voice of reason, really, isn't it?
It's what Phil.
Hello.
Hello, mate.
I did tell you I wasn't coming, but then I had to be at the house to meet a contractor to work on my fence. So I'm home when I shouldn't be.
Hey, there we go. So are you staying?
For as long as I can.
Great.
We'll see.
Great.
Just hanging around, chatting.
We need someone here that knows what they're talking about.
Oh, well, we are so out of luck. You want me to call my wife?
Right,
we can get her.
There we go. Boom.
Chris, he said, "Even gents, Paul, I did it. I bought an FM3. Nice one. You, Leon Todd, Aaron Marshall, all equal roles in my decision making. Aaron Marshall's gift of tone pack is fantastic. Cheers as always. Awesome. Ooh. Cheers, Chris. Glad you're getting something out of it. The FM3 is awesome.
Hang on.
I've almost bought one so many times.
So good.
It is so good. Is it your sort of thing though?
So I do have a Helix. I have the Helix floor. And so but before I got it, I went to see a band, and it was one of the first times I ever saw someone using a modeler live, which by the way is still very rare over here for where I am. Very rare. I just talked about this week on the Guitar Nerds podcast about how I still don't see modelers outside of church and pit gigs, like live band at a pub on a weekend or bar on a weekend, or even function gigs. I'm still seeing amps.
That's great.
Okay, now normally, do you guys believe in the phrase "fires fail through lack of fuel"?
Sure.
So basically, if it's kicking off, don't go in there and wade in, because the person who's being an a-hole will probably just get bored and go away if you leave them alone. If you poke them with a stick, they're going to keep going, right?
Have we gone off subject?
No, I'm getting there. I don't normally comment on other YouTubers' videos unless it's either to agree or to whatever.
Oh, sure.
Now, John Nathan Cordy put out a video yesterday, I think it was yesterday, of the state of the nation as far as guitar players and bands playing live in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to agree so much with him, but he said, and the thing that got me about, the only thing I wanted to disagree with, he said, yeah, it's really become a problem recently that venues are allowing bands when they shouldn't allow bands. So like venues that have a 85 dB noise limit or a noise thing, like a noise limiter thing,
they're hiring bands knowing they have this limit.
Yeah. And I was thinking, hang on, John, this isn't new news. I gave up gigging 7 years ago. And although one of the reasons was having children, I'd got to the stage where I wasn't doing it for fun. I wasn't doing it for music. I wasn't doing it for the money. I was just coming away from every single gig going, everyone is saying it's me who's making all the noise, because they instantly assume it's the drummer, whereas it's not. Drums are transient, therefore they are loud then quiet. It's bass that goes and just sends those things off the hook. There were two particular gigs where we played the first dance, wedding gigs always. We played the first dance, and the cheer from the audience to the bride and groom set it off and killed the power. We did one where it was acoustic guitar and vocal, and that tripped it.
Oh my gosh.
And we did one where the guy who came on and tap danced for the bride and groom to do something, he did a land on the stage. The stage was a big echoey box, and he tripped it. And he wasn't plugged in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I hate
what then happens is they look at the band and go, "Why has the music gone off?" And I could not agree with JNC more or harder or louder. But I was like, this has been a problem for 10 years. And it's probably been a problem for longer than that.
So Phil, do you know, everyone, by the way, just go and check out Phil's awesome podcast that he does more or less on a weekly basis. So
yeah,
we must remember to big up your show as well. The funniest thing that James and I, these are separate gigs, but there's a quite a well-known function venue in Kent, with the southeast of England.
I know what you're going to say as well.
You know, have you ever heard of a guy called Jules Holland?
Yeah.
Okay. Later with Jules Holland.
Right,
yeah.
Jules Holland, you know, the
biggest proponent of live music this country has.
Yeah.
Right.
So he owns this massive castle.
Cooling Castle.
Cooling Castle, right next door to the venue.
Cooling Castle Barn is the wedding venue.
Who complains every single Friday and Saturday night to the wedding venue?
No.
Yes. Every single. We've got to turn it down because Jules Holland is asking us to turn it down. It's just like every single.
It's beyond hypocritical, isn't it?
Get wrecked.
Live music happening, and you know, neither Paul or I play with shit bands. You know, good bands making a good noise with good gear, and yet the key proponent of live music in this country is telling us to turn them down.
Yeah, it's more fun to play through. But I get it. You know, if we've got to play through, modelers and we've got to have electronic drum kits, I get it. I'd rather see a band. Yeah, but I'd rather see a band playing that and doing that than a DJ up there.
Yeah.
But I hate. I hate electronic drums. I just
want to get used to it.
I don't have to
deal with it, Grandad. I don't have to.
I don't have to. I stopped.
He just stopped kicking instead.
Yeah. So you're saying that you would rather watch a DJ than watch a band with an electronic drum kit?
No, I'd rather say, from a punter's point of view, I can separate from it. But as someone who's been, turned up to play and do my craft that I've spent more than 25 minutes learning, to then be told, sorry, mate, we're actually effectively going to chop your arm off. Okay, I know it's not different for guitar. Sorry, I know it is different for guitar, but you're still playing the same instrument. You can still go at it the same way. What they're saying to us as drummers is, you're too loud. Therefore, play lighter.
We proved this on that video we proved on the video that we released this week that amplifiers sound different to modelers, mate.
Yes.
It's not the same thing. It's far more enjoyable to play through an amplifier, but guitarists have to do it. So we go, I'd rather do a gig. So that is what I'm going to do.
And that's why I own a Helix. Exactly. I don't want to own a Helix. It's behind me here because I've had it set up. I don't want to own that thing. I'd rather sink whatever the floor and an FRFR cost me into pedals or another guitar or just in my pocket. I'd rather do that than own this piece of gear, period. But I have it because some gigs absolutely require it.
But what's interesting, Phil, is you've just said the words FRFR cab as well. One of the things that I think got more than slightly misconstrued about our video is that we were saying that playing through an amp is different or different stroke, not the same, or the same but different. There's the argument. As playing through a modeler through an FRFR. We weren't saying that because the FRFR thing wasn't in the room. It wasn't part of the deal. The deal was playing through a modeler with silent stage or whatever, in-ears in or whatever, is different and feels different to playing with an amp behind you. It just does.
I think so. We can move on. I think we've got to ask the audience if you think James is right. If James should be able to play through, no, if James goes right, I'm not doing a gig because I can't play my drums, or James should just stop being a granddad and just go and get an electronic drum kit and play and do a gig. Put in the notes, but stick in the comments what James should do.
Granddad, or stick to your guns.
Let me add this just before we close this out. Just to the point there. I have amps hooked into Captor X's, which I have already explained. I'm not a huge fan of the sound of the Captor X. I own multiple neural DSP plugins. I have all of the UA amp modelers at this point, not the plug-in version.
Yep.
I have the other UA ones that are the preamps that are built in. You can use in the interface, like the whatever they call them. I mean, Unison.
Unison.
Yeah. I've got the Helix. I have so many options for quiet playing into studio monitors or headphones, whatever I want to do. Do you know what I still pick every single time?
An AC30 on full tilt.
The amps into the Captor X, because it's still more fun than every one of the plugins.
Yeah.
It still just sounds better, even when I don't like the sound of the Captor X. I'm pointing at them. That's why I'm pointing that direction.
Yeah.
I'm not a church musician. I'm not a religious guy, but amen, brother.
I've done the church musician gig, and that's why this is the other reason I had a Helix.
AMS, he says, Ben says, fat is the pedal boost in front of the amp. So that is, I'm going to show the switch. This control here with the switch, and it's also foot switchable. That's the fat control, so it's like a boost in the front. And that's what you want. It almost like, so you can play your rhythm stuff, and then you want to kick on a solo. You kick that on, and it just gives it a lift. Fantastic.
Nice.
I like it.
Graham Campbell, evening all, and it's in the front of the amp as well, which is always my preference.
Where it should be.
It's where a boost should be.
It's like a volume lift. I don't want that. I want it to crunch more into the front of the amp.
You want boost, volume, and grunt.
That's because your boost for volume is right here.
There you go.
He's right, you know.
Judge Shred, good evening, rats, and all. Congrats at Chris Wright. What's happened to Chris Wright?
Oh, what did Chris say?
Oh, I see. Yes, he bought an FM3. Yeah. Yes. Well done, Chris. Yeah.
Good choice.
Right now, YMESYDT. Now, remind me. We worked this out, didn't we?
We did.
Anyway, okay.
I have no idea.
I'd like to see you guys do a big speaker shootout. Creamback 65s and 75s, greenbacks, Alnico blue and golds, EV Jensen, and all the popular ones through the same Marshall or something. That is a video and a half. That is. I mean, just the whole production of doing that is.
Yes, it's doable here.
Yeah,
we would have to get them. Which I mean, and there's some expensive speakers in there if you can find them.
Well, I know I have a contact at Celestian, so I can sort out. Yeah, I can sort out Celestian stuff. EV is going to be difficult, and Jensen's going to be difficult, but
maybe eBay could be our friend there.
Could be. Yeah. We'll look into that.
I want some EVs so bad.
Do you?
Yeah.
I want some EVs for the twin.
I want some EVs for one of my two rock cabs.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I want to play my TS1 through actual EV speakers and see how much of a difference it truly makes.
Wow.
I want EVs for the twin because a friend of mine had that era twin, and it had EVs in the back.
Oh my god!
And
you want to put EVs in a twin combo
and
make it even heavier.
Make it even heavier. But there's aluminium in the world that was cut by that amp. Sorry, aluminum, just to speak American.
Yeah, well, speak properly in that one.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm going to give you aluminum. Yeah. Everything else is wrong.
Yeah.
James, Dalgleish said, hi, Rats, my Fender Tonemaster Pro arrives tomorrow. Any tips and tricks? Oh, nice one. What one did you get? Oh,
no, he got the Helix looking thing.
Yeah, that's the Helix one. Yeah, not the
one that looks like a TCG system.
Does look like a G system. Yeah, we're thinking about getting one. We're thinking about getting one, James. So,
so if you don't like it, we'll buy it.
yeah. I think the prices still need to come down for me. Unless you've got a contact at Fender, haven't you, James?
My contact at Fender ignores me.
Well,
I mean, that might tell you something about my level of contact at Fender, but
yeah. Chris, cheers, Judge Shred. Talking amongst
hello, we got all the sponsors in tonight.
All the sponsors. Tamco, evening, everyone. Evening, Tamco.
Oh,
Hope you're all doing absolutely smashing, and you hope you're well. Portec Berm. Any tips for getting a dual LR guitars?
Left, right.
The same volume.
That's got to be.
Yeah.
Any tips for getting dual left, right? What does that mean?
Stereo?
Dual stereo.
I think he's being redundant.
What you think it's any tip for getting stereo guitars the same volume with faders?
These things. Use these. You do that, and then they go
things and these things.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you,
the thing I would say is ignore the meters, because if your meters are doing this sometimes, but your ears are telling you they're not, go with your ears.
Yeah.
Oh, have you had? I've just seen your. Sorry. Yeah, just be a bit more specific, Portec, because. Yeah. Let us know how you're. I mean, are you talking? Are you using amplifiers? Are you using a modeler? What's
need more info? We'll revisit.
Yeah.
Do you want me to post the next two? Because obviously
because I want to ask Phil about that.
Yeah.
So you've had Tamco on your show, have you?
No, but we met at NAMM and gave me one of his little circuit board business cards, and I've got it in this case behind me. I'm gonna build it.
This is cool. Look at this. Look at this, James. This is super cool.
Right.
Yeah. Look at his business card. It's a circuit board.
Oh, that is cool.
Heavy.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that's real cool.
That's really. I was talking to someone today about making an impression, an unforgettable impression.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
That's the way to do it. That is the way to do it, because you remember it, don't you?
Yeah, and while it might cost Tapco a couple of quid per pedal per business card, that is something you don't forget. And you also you don't put it in the pile of business cards with the other 2.5 inches worth that you get from NAMM. You go, that dude,
Yeah. Oh, you got a black one. Look at that. That's super.
Yeah,
cool.
I got the black one. I've also got a couple of other things here that I keep meaning to build. Acorn Amps does the same thing. They build this is an actual amplifier if you build it.
Oh,
it's a little mini amplifier.
Wow.
And then I've got this isn't a business card, but a buddy of mine gave me this. He designed it is a really good like filtered DI box. If I can ever order the components for it, I may not be able to now, but
so basically, I don't know Mr. Tapco's name. He's going to be Johnny Tapco.
Radolf.
He's going to be Johnny from now.
That sounds right.
Yeah. He'll message you basically.
Rodolphe.
Rodolfo, yeah. Sorry, yes. My
I'm just overly pronouncing it. I don't know.
No. I'm sure you're right. That's English. If you say something, Rudolph.
Rudolph. God, here we go.
Graham, a quick drum mixing question. I've got a project to mix for a college course. Any good tips on mixing the kit? It's snare, top, hats, kicks, kick and overheads. It's a jazz rock style trio piece. Nice.
My biggest piece of advice is whatever EQ you're using, wind out 500 hertz. Nice broad is just going to get rid of all the honky nastiness that you don't like. Your kick drum's going to sound fat. All of a sudden, 500 hertz, lose it across the whole kit. Jobs are good.
It's funny, isn't it? It's funny how that is something that I would do on every single mix, and it always works.
Yep. I recently had some students that were in the music store while I was in there, and they're part of a DIY crew, and they're all college students. They're trying to mic drums for the first time, and they were talking about this insane mic setup that they were trying to do. And I'm like, guys, where are you doing this? Like, then they described their space. I'm like, you are gonna just phase cancel yourself into oblivion. You need 3 microphones in the space you're at. Like, stop overdoing this. Yeah. I introduced them to the Glenn Johns method and said, go with God and do this.
I mean, the thing with drums as well. So I've got two tips. Obviously, 500 hertz, roll it out, nice gentle scoop. That's a given.
Mm-hmm.
My second, if you want to do this, not even quick and dirty, just quick and really effective, use CLA drums. Waves CLA drums.
Oh,
it's just genius.
I'll be honest. I've been using, because I don't record drums here, so obviously I can't speak to full rig because it's been a long time since I've recorded a drum kit. But I use Easy Drummer 3 to do my drum sounds for the demos and backing tracks. And I've been tinkering around. I got one that I'm doing on some of the Vimaram pedals that I'm not happy with yet, so I'm going to re-record that. But I found that even with those, which are sort of already, you can do a little extra mixing, I still find that I export them and then I cheat and I throw Ozone on it and just let Ozone do the automatic mastering of them. And that's basically what it does. And it sounds so good.
Phil, if you ever want real drums, send me a track over.
Well, that if I start working on original music, I will absolutely. But for like a demo, it's a lot of work for a demo.
Fun. It's not. That's the cool thing. It's there. It's drummed in. It will take me as long as it takes to play the track.
Okay, we'll make something happen.
Yeah. Last thing I would say, good tip is good mic placement. Make sure you're using a good kick drum mic, a good snare drum mic, and by that I don't mean a 57. Get your overheads nice and high because that will sort out your phase cancellation problems between that. Hi-hat, point away from the snare drum.
That's a really good point. So many people point towards the snare drum and wonder why they can't get it to mix properly.
Yeah, because all they're going to get is a phasey mush out of the hi-hat mic. Yeah.
And 3-to-1 rules and all those things,
Yeah,
just basic stuff.
Last one, promise, is make sure your overheads are equidistant from the snare drum.
Yeah.
So get a mic cable, do the hole, point it at the mic, make sure the other one is the same distance because it's the snare drum is the center of the kit. No matter, it's the loudest thing on the kit, so make sure everything's in phase. I'll stop now.
Can you do an updated Ultimate Katana Tone video for the Gen 3 Katana artist? Thanks. Yes, I really should do some more Katana videos. I need to check it. I need to check in with Matt to see how well the Gen 3 is sold, because if it's worth doing some extra videos. But yes, I will look into that.
I still think it's got to be one of the best-selling things Boss has ever done. The Katana series as a whole.
Yeah.
But
the Gen 3, I wonder how well the Gen 3's done compared to the 2 and the Hod 8. Hello, Rats from Michigan. Hi, Hod 8. Mr. Hardy. He says, evening all. My wife keeps asking who Paul Drew is because it's the name that comes up in our bills when I buy your tone pack. Send her a picture.
Send an autograph postcard for
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll have a picture taken from the Ferrari that I bought from your spending.
Only a Ferrari, peasant.
Ferrari's this big. It's made by Hot Wheels.
Keith, evening rat. Sorry, but actually watching the mix bush. Bloody hell, mate.
Okay.
That sounds hideous.
That does not sound like a good time to me.
Meisha Sibona, hello. Do they take questions now? Who they be?
We've always taken questions. If you ask a question, we will do our best to answer it. I can't necessarily say it'll be sensible, but we'll do our best.
Yeah. Nick Depp, I was joking about the sponsor thing, lol. Guys, I enjoy Wednesday evenings with you. I like the fact that you love playing 22 frets and fractal stuff. You do have good taste for sure. Thanks, mate.
We have our moment.
I've got a lot of 21 frets.
Yeah, I got a lot of 21 fret guitars.
Too many 21s.
I realize how many every time I need to take that solo in Don't Stop Believing, how many 21 fret guitars I own. And I'm bending that step and a half to get to that high E.
Yeah. Yeah. Dave, by the way, downloaded your 5150 pack. What an amp. You used it last Saturday. Nice.
That's a monster, isn't it?
That is a monster amp.
That's one of those. I like the high watt. I like the Mesa, but I really like that 5150, especially after you said I'd.
We bought a new amp. Phil. We bought a new amp.
What'd you get?
We've got a what is it? A 1980 what?
1985 JCM 800 non-master reverb, non-master volume,
non-master volume with the 4 inputs, and it's the conditions like
as new.
Well, we've seen the pictures. It looks mint. Looks minty fresh.
My local shop has a 2-input. One of the good. There's 2 versions of the 2-input, and one of them's good. One of them's not. I can never remember which is which.
So the
not
2-input.
Not that it's not good, but
you want the 2-input with the
vertical inputs.
Yes, the vertical 2-input is the 2203, 2204.
Yeah, and it's got a matching period correct cab 412, and the price is real good. It's basically by the head you get the cab for free.
What is it? Go on. What sort of price are we talking?
It's like $2,500.
See, Marshalls are still expensive out there, aren't they?
Yeah. They're especially vintage ones.
Yeah.
We did okay on this, I think.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
It was still some serious dough, but so because the store we bought them from, and I'm going to give them a shout out because they've been really good actually. Fair Deal Music in Birmingham, Birmingham, have been great because. So we did the deal, and then the manager phoned me and said, "Look, I would hate for this thing to arrive. It's an old amp, that's 85 is getting on a bit now.
I know, I feel that.
I would hate." I would hate for it to arrive with you to ship it and it arrive in terrible condition, etc., etc. Is there any way you can pick it up? And I went, well, I'm actually going to be in near Birmingham over the weekend. And he said, can I pop one of the guys in the van and deliver it to you, hand deliver it? And I went, okay, now that's cool. That's service.
Yeah, that is absolutely service.
The guy didn't want it to get to us damaged. He didn't know who we were. It wasn't like we were waving the Studio Rats card or anything like that.
And I'm not surprised he doesn't know who we are.
I didn't even ask for the James price, for God. Actually, I did afterwards. And they've been brilliant. So they've basically arranged for it to go. It's arriving at the hotel before I do.
Nice.
They've gone totally overboard.
That's amazing.
They're sorting out some extra bits and pieces. They've found a Marshall branded cover, a head cover for it, padded cover. So, yeah, top work. Fair Deal Music. You deserve to still be in business, unlike some of your southern cousins.
Absolutely. Right. We've got.
I mean, I don't even know where to start, ladies and gentlemen. So from Florida, USA. Vinny the Axe, and from north of the border, it's Steve Cassidy.
That's really good. Hey,
Gents?
Yeah.
All right, fellas.
This is when we give closed captioning an aneurysm.
Steve, how you doing, buddy?
All good.
And have you got dressed up? Have you just gone over to Henning's wardrobe and just...
I've not been up my bed yet.
Speaking of Henning's wardrobe, have y'all seen his video about the bear sweater that he wore at NAMM?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
Okay. So he came into so we shared an Airbnb. There was a whole bunch of us at NAMM, right? So Henning came back in after he made the realization about that sweatshirt.
This is a pedo bear.
Yeah, the pedo bear shirt. And we have never let him forget that. It came up again in a group text chat today. Yeah, it's great. I mean, He had no idea. He had no idea.
That's the dangerous thing about wearing stuff that's or anything that's slightly left of center.
Yeah.
If someone's pulling a fast one on you, either intentionally or unintentionally, it can get you in a lot of trouble.
Nothing's safe. You think you're okay.
Yeah.
I had to put all my Gary Glitter t-shirts in the bin.
Good man.
Apparently, Rolf Harris vinyl. There's no resale value at the car boot for that stuff.
Oh, Ralph. I don't know. I'm not having it with Ralph. Rolf.
Poor laddie.
I did a video with him years and years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of video was that?
Not that many years.
It's been
What's the
84
money?
years.
Now then. So yeah, for you Americans, this is our resident famous.
It's Paul and my childhood that's being destroyed by Operation.
It's our childhood pedo, basically.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
We've had a few like childhood stars that ended up becoming problematic. Thankfully, a lot of them actually ended up being even more wholesome. Like as they got, we got older and like they were even like, I grew up with Mr. Rogers, so you can't really tarnish that guy's as a childhood star. You don't know Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? That not a thing that came to the UK?
No,
Roy Rogers? Trigger?
No.
No.
Yeah, sorry. There's no chance I'm going to explain this properly. Basically, he was the public broadcasting like kids show that taught people to be decent human beings.
Wow. And it turned out he wasn't?
No, he absolutely was. He's one of those that did not disappoint later.
He was an ex-Marine, wasn't he? If I'm not mistaken.
That's the story.
Is that the story?
I don't know if that's true.
So I'm confused. This guy was a pedo or wasn't a pedo?
Wasn't.
No,
There were lots that ended up,
Oh, I see. Okay.
and
Okay.
it seems like that's more common than it absolutely should be.
Yeah,
We grow up and like the folks who ran the television shows that we all watched as a kid, like you find out that they were absolutely atrocious people. And so it's refreshing when we don't find that out.
The only guy from my childhood that everyone goes, the Green Cross. So in the UK, it was the Green Cross Code Man, which is like look, listen, think, cross the road thing.
Yeah.
Turned out that David Prowse, who was the Green Cross Code Man, went on to become Darth Vader.
Oh.
So the guy who talks to cross the road went on to destroy the Rebel Alliance and get his arm chopped off and stuff.
Well, that's funny because he was the physical manifestation of Darth Vader, while a fellow Mississippian to me was the voice of Darth Vader.
Yeah,
and
because
James Earl Jones.
did you hear the voice of the guy who was playing Darth Vader?
Yeah, he's from Cornwall.
He had a shit accent. Yeah, he had a really shit accent, and it was really cheesy sounding. And they went, "We can't use this." That's what happened.
And from inside the Darth Vader mask, all you heard was, and all you heard from inside the mask was the expletives when he's got his lines wrong.
Yeah,
That's
you
amazing.
could actually watch the behind the scenes with it. It's actually hilarious.
That's awesome.
Anywho,
right,
music and stuff.
yeah. Back onto it.
Yeah.
So Mr. Steve, are you hanging around, or did you want to say something? You're more than welcome.
I did.
Oh.
I'll get out your hair. I've just got a couple of small stories to tell you. Wee stories to share. You may or may not enjoy. Right?
We will.
So a wee spoiler for the second story. I've made a large purchase.
Oh, exciting stuff.
So we'll get to that in a minute. But the other story is I made a small purchase.
Right.
So I was changing strings on a guitar the other day, and I've got loads of sort of miscellaneous sets kicking about. And for some reason, I couldn't find a D anywhere, a 24. So I ended up buying, like, off of Amazon, 5 24 single Ds. Right? So I bought it off the same seller, and you just put the quantity up to 5. Right?
Uh-oh.
You got 500.
No. It actually happened before where I got 10 packs of strings. So this arrived with one D.
Oh my gosh.
And then the next day,
Oh my god!
No.
I've not opened them yet. I'm saving them for an unboxing video.
The sustainability environmentalist in me hates this so much, but the person who enjoys irony loves this.
That's why, Steve, you should buy the Vinny the Axe relic strings. They've already been used. They're already broken in.
That was interesting.
That's brilliant. Oh, that's so funny.
The thing is, on Amazon, so I'm assuming it's the same in the States, but if you add things to your cart, your whatever basket, yes, sorry, the algorithm should, if they're from the same procurement center or the same thing, it should box them together to save on shipping and all that, and cardboard and all that sort of stuff. That's what it should do. That's what it's supposed to do. But I've done it like Steve, clearly, where I've bought 3 or 4 things knowing they're from the same person, incrementally, and they've turned up days apart. And I'm like, but this was ordered at the same time from the same person. It makes no sense.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't buy a pair of shoes.
Same transaction.
I'd have been left behind.
Oh. That one actually hurt.
Tell me about my big purchase then.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, come on. About this. Can we make James? Do we know how to make Steve bigger so we can see?
No, hang on.
Can you make me taller with more hair while you're at it?
There he is.
Is that better? Yeah, I did that.
No, I'm just going to push a couple of buttons. I'm going to see if something works.
Oh, that's a thing.
Hang on.
No, that's James.
Hang on. No, hang on.
Can we do this?
Oh, no.
Hold on. I've got this.
Hang on. No.
I've got it, James. I've got it.
Yeah?
I've got it. Just wait.
I quite like being this size. This is a good size for me.
I'm scared about being this big.
Something feels very Brady Bunch.
Hang on. Let's do that quickly, then do that. No,
God.
No, I don't want that. Hang on.
This is great. This is great.
This is proper. Hang on. I want to select him.
I know what to do.
I'm
gonna do
there we go.
There he is. Right, come and show us. What you got?
Right, so I can't show you. I don't have it yet.
I
made the plunge.
What have you
in a couple of weeks, I'm officially going to be a Mac user.
Yes! At last!
Going from Windows to Mac, man. Last year,
mate, that's
what do you guys use? Any of you guys use DaVinci Resolve for editing?
Paul does.
I don't, but I think I'm about to move to it.
I've been using Resolve, and last year there was a Windows update and then a Resolve update, and it just totally killed my software. I ended up having to get my complete PC wiped, lost loads of projects and everything. It was a nightmare. Put us about 3 months behind on YouTube stuff. So I've been waiting because the Mac Minis just came out with the M4 chips, and I almost bought one of them, but the advice was hold off until the new studios come out. And I thought that makes more sense. They got more ports and stuff. So the new studio just came out, I think, last month. So I've just put down the dough today on a M3 Ultra. It's meant to be good.
You're going to love it, man. I was going to buy the studio when it first came out, and I actually found a decked out Mac Mini through B&H Photo, which is out of Manhattan. A decked out Mac Mini that was close to the starting level of the studio, minus a couple of different things. And I just bought that to save myself like $1,000. And the thing runs amazing. I edit video, nothing hangs up, it's fantastic. And I did the same thing. I switched from Windows to Mac. So
that the M3 Ultra, I am looking at the studio, the 80 core that still says coming soon. B&H has it for $14,000.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But the thing is, and the thing that I found now, while I was with Production Expert, I very publicly went from my Mac Pro 2010 to a PC tower, souped up, all singing, all dancing thing. when electricity got really expensive all of a sudden, and we got smart meters in the house, I started looking at how much it was costing to run my mega souped up HP Z840 workstation thing. It was costing £10 a day just to run the computer.
Oh,
wow.
And then I put my laptop on, I've got an M1 MacBook Pro, which is how I'm now working. It is faster than that machine and costs about 5p a day to run.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The electric's in the power supply to run the video cards.
Yeah.
The video cards now are insane, if you can even get any. And
crazy expensive.
I don't know. Yeah, I like that. I think the Mac works great. Yeah, if you're a gamer, probably not the best thing in the universe, but for editing video and photographs,
Vinny, look up and look at Steve.
Well done, mate.
Do you think he's a gamer? On the game, maybe, but not.
He was setting that up.
Yeah. Steve's got strong NPC vibes.
I've got a Snake 2. Way better than the first one. Anyway, that's my story's done. I'll leave you with that. Let you get back on with your lives.
That was awesome. Thanks, mate. You're welcome to come and stay up anytime you want. So just wherever.
Join in the fun.
And I knew that's the way I do it.
I know, mate.
Have a
Good to
good
see you,
one.
mate.
I'm waiting to go and speak in the chat now. See you later.
Take care, buddy.
Later, buddy.
He's a
Oh,
trip.
I've got something. I've got something to talk about.
Yeah.
Go on, Em.
So there's a guitar experience. There's like a guitar experience holiday thing.
Right.
That's been brought to my attention. I won't say by who because I don't want to get anyone in.
Not the Ireland thing you did.
No. This is in Scotland. So basically, what's happened is this guy's hired out a castle in Scotland, and Robin Ford's going to be there. Larry Carlton's going to be there. Hold on. There's more big names. There's more big names.
Loch Dumble or something.
Yeah. Anyway, all of these famous guitar players. There's also Rob Chapman, Mary Spender. It's James's face. Right. So these tickets. So it's basically you stay at the castle. I think it could be 5 days. I think something like that. You stay at the castle. And you have clinics with Larry Carlton and Robin Ford. Robbie McIntosh is another one that's there.
Guthrie Trap.
Guthrie Traps. Oh, you found it. Okay.
Yeah. Your description made it easy.
I've been told. Right. How much do you think? I mean, this hasn't been confirmed. This has not been confirmed, but this is what I've been told by a reputable source. How much this costs?
$5,000 a week.
It's cheaper than Disney, I bet.
Go on, Vinny. Have a guess.
I would say 10 grand.
So I know that I'm going to look this up and I'm going to use this as a basis. There is an Andy Woods woodshed guitar experience.
Yeah.
That I've looked at going to before, and it's kind of got a similar vibe, but it's in hotels or cabins.
Yeah.
And the tickets for that run something like $2,400 to $3,300. I'm going to say this is closer to $5,000.
Well, I've been told it's 33 grand.
33 grand?
Pounds.
That's what I've been told.
Actual English pounds.
Actual English pounds.
Does Carlton come to your house and paint it for you?
Right.
Or
by the way, Americans, that's $44,000.
Now this hasn't been confirmed by the. This has not been confirmed by the owner. The owner got in contact and basically said, "Do you want to come?" There's basically a one day where the general public can come as well. And I was invited up to go up to that, and I'm like, so I've got to go up to Scotland, and you're going to let me do this for free? So I've got to get up to Scotland. I've got to fly up to Scotland. I've got to pay for accommodation to advertise your show. And I said, look, I said, look, I didn't know how much it was at the time. I said, look, if you want to, make it worth my while. If you want me to advertise your show, invite me up and I'll film it and we'll do all that. But it's it's got to be a.
You do realize the words invite us.
Yeah. No, but that would be
Somebody already chimed in. I'm the chat monitor. Somebody already chimed in down at the bottom. Said, "Yep, it's 30,000 pounds."
Yeah.
It is, so that is confirmed.
Yeah, Gibbs Guitar said it.
I mean,
Right.
but
30 grand.
Right.
Oh, no. By the way, you can bring someone with you, so you can bring your wife with you.
A non-participating
Great.
member with you.
Right.
It's
But
absolutely crazy.
now I'll kind of backtrack a little bit on this. Now, when I said 5 grand, I went with the
Hey, mate, 5 grand's a lot of money. That's
yes. So it turns out it's getting on for 10 years ago now. I did Mix with the Masters. Now that's a lot of dough for a week, but I came away from that week with Al and Steve and the other 15 guys I was with. I learned more in that week than I learned on my 3-year degree course.
Okay. Okay.
However, I'm not sure I can justify 30 grand.
I'm sure you could go to Larry Carton and Robin Ford and say, guys, how much, 5 days, I'd like some lessons with you for 5 days. How much would you charge me? I guess it would be less than that.
In a Holiday Inn in a really shitty neighborhood. How much?
Yeah.
Hotel, Holiday Inn.
But anyway, let's not. This is a very luxury. It's not designed for people on our budgets.
So basically, if you are a lawyer, a dentist, or an orthodontist, and you play PRS, it's for you.
No, apparently, it is limited to 17 slots. 13. But that was the joke that I always found with Mix of the Masters, and that's the only thing I have to compare it to. Is you don't go on a Mix of the Masters course, you apply to go on a Mix of the Masters course. Then, if you get accepted, which everybody does, you then have to stump up the cash. This is also an application to go. Like you have, I found the
Are
website.
they going to get Dave Smith, DDS dentist, who owns a collection of PRS. He's got an Orianthe. He's got the John McLaughlin. But he's been playing 2.5 weeks. Is he going to get on? Of course he is.
We're not talking dentists. I think we're talking higher earners than that. I think we're talking.
He's got to be the right honourable to get on this course.
Anyway, it's crazy. It is crazy, isn't it? Anyway, let's move on to the question.
It's madness. It's madness. By the way, there's 5 slots still available.
Yeah. Meisha, well,
indeed,
we do still answer questions. We do.
Yeah. Mazuka Kai. Once smoking was banned in bars, live music dried up and died.
Not true.
Not true.
That's a causality and situation where they coincided, but they're not. You can't tie them that way. There's too many other factors that are tied in there.
However, the difference between it's funny how you remember the specific venues. I remember playing the Oak in Stowmarket a week or two before the smoking ban, and playing the same pub weeks after the smoking ban. And my wife said to me, "You now don't come home smelling like 60 a day."
Yeah. It was awful. I remember those days.
Me too.
You could wring your shirt out of nicotine. It was horrible.
I can't stand it. Part of the thing that killed live music is killing live music. Isn't that? It's people have gotten just too comfortable with radio volume and turning things down, and they try to put venues in there. What's killing it is the lack of actual venues. Clear Channel and whatever it's become now, like the strong arming of small venues, the death of the smaller venue, and now you've got more and more and more restaurants and bars that try to be venues, but they're not designed to be it. I played this place a couple of weeks ago where the stage is literally like, I don't know, a 10x6 platform in the middle of the bar.
Yeah,
and I'm like, the whole bar can't be more than 600 square feet. And I'm like, and you've got bands playing in here loud.
I don't know if it's the same in the States, but the lunatics have control of the asylum in the UK. So there's a very famous jazz venue in South London called the Bull's Head in Barnes. And the great and the good of everyone in jazz and big band has played this place. Dizzy Gillespie, Buddy Rich, the serious top end guys. I've played this venue hundreds of times. It's an amazing venue, always has great live music.
I thought you said the good and the great.
And
and others.
They built some new apartments behind this venue, selling the apartments as you are next to this world famous jazz venue.
Oh no.
And you all know what's coming next, don't you?
Yeah.
Within 6 months, it was shut down because the people who bought the apartments complained about the noise. Now, as it turned out, the venue fought back and said politely, we've been here for 70 odd years. Screw you lot. And the venue won.
They should.
But that is very, very rare. Common sense does not prevail in this country.
There's a place in Nashville, and this isn't even a venue. This was a barbecue place. A place, somebody bought the house behind the barbecue place, like on the other side of the street, behind it, and then complained and tried to get the barbecue restaurant shut down because of the smell. It's like, dude, you're the one who bought a house behind a barbecue restaurant that's been here for 50 or whatever amount of years. You knew what you were getting into.
I can trump that, and I use the word trump very lightly. I used to, so in the UK, we have things called holiday camps. I don't know if it's the same in the US. In fact, it's not. Where people go away and they're not. They're very English. And I worked in this particular venue, and it was a tin shed. It wasn't far off a tin shed. But it was a venue, and it's been a venue, been part of the holiday camp for over like 70 odd years. And behind the venue was some land that was sold from the holiday camp, and then a developer bought it and built some houses. The person who bought the property behind complained about the seagulls on the roof of the venue.
God.
And the council put sound limiters in and the Christmas tree thing, 3 red lights and it kills the power because of the seagulls.
Crazy. Right,
Welcome
come
to-
on then. Let's move on.
Yes,
Let's
yeah.
move on. Zach Z Gomez 870. Hi Paul, may I ask a question, please? I'm a beginner user. My very first time on Les Paul. What's the question?
I think he's asking permission to ask a question. So yes, you have permission.
Yes,
oh,
absolutely.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Everyone can ask questions, and we always get through all the questions.
We do. Yes.
Dave, always thought Jules Holland was a knob end.
Effing Jules.
Effing Jules. Live music has not dried up and died in my neck of the woods. My band is still gigging every other week.
Yeah.
Nice. I think
there are still bands playing and there are still venues, but the number, even since giving up gigging, we turned up to one video a while ago. They said you can have no backline, you can have real drums, and you can have real drums, no backline. You have to play through our PA, which was one of those two of those god awful stick PA things. But we also had a trumpet.
Awesome.
we had Karen on trumpet, and Karen,
oh my God.
bless her, I love her because she makes a trumpet sound like a trumpet. But bloody hell, did she blow the thing out straight? So all the audience could hear was drums and trumpet. I mean, drums and bass I've heard of, but drum and trumpet, nah.
Well, I can tell you the last 3 concerts I've went to, I did not enjoy any of them because they were so loud. And I wear earplugs when I go because they're just deafeningly loud that I just don't enjoy the music. And I hate to say that I'm not old. I'm getting old, but it's just not enjoyable to me. I don't know, when the sound is so loud, it's like cavitating your eardrum. I don't know how people enjoy it. I really don't get it.
It doesn't have to be deafeningly loud. It has to be the thing that gets me is there is a massive difference between loud and good quality. Good quality sound is not necessarily loud sound.
Yeah. And the 85 decibel limits they're putting on things. Actually, I play in a town a few towns over. We play outdoor gigs, and the noise ordinance there for a while, I think they've ripped this back now, was 75 decibels at 10 feet.
Wow.
That's a toilet flushing.
But the daft thing is that you have Baggy, the guy who used to run the band that I was played in, when the venue person would go, oh, we've got a 92 dB limit, he would look at me and go, do your thing, go on. And I'd say 92 dB is like saying my card is 100 what? Rabbits per guinea pig, meters per second.
Yep.
And they go, well, what do you mean? And he goes, let them have it. And it was hilarious.
We've got to move on. We've got to move on.
Moving.
Zuka Kai, your band playing the other week is my definition. I don't know. I mean, I think, but there might be choice. There might be choice. 25 gigs a year is great.
Yeah.
Leon, hello, mate. He says, play the electronic drum kit. Zach Starkey was selling his the other week, but I think he changed his mind. There.
Very good.
Thomas, hello, Paul. James, 40 watt, and all the chat from Canada. Just got a head rush FRFR to go with my Tonemaster Pro. Still have my Katana Artist and HK Tube Meister. Nice. Is that the fat controller? I don't know. Is that we talking about the fat switch on that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, very good.
Maisha Sibona, hey Studio Rats, why your Tonex Quad Cortex sounds so boxy? Is it to sit well in the mix? This is great, isn't it? I don't know. We've never had that, to be honest. So
I think if you were saying that all our Tonex and Quad Cortex captures sound boxy, I suspect that could be your playback medium rather than our captures.
Yeah, I will say that there's a couple of quite high-end pros that use our Tonex models. So I don't know why you're so different. I would say
it's not just so boxy, it's so boxy.
See, I don't know. Then I don't know.
If you could be a little more specific,
perhaps? Yeah, be a little more specific. Yeah.
Captures.
Yep. Zigrig 58. Oh, sorry guys, doesn't matter what you play through amp or modeler or computer music, everything sounds better loud. So that does not defeat the object of a quiet stage. Yeah, well, it sounds loud because that's the way we perceive. Sorry, loud sounds better because that's the way our ears perceive stuff.
Yeah. It is unfortunate that the Fletcher Munson curves on our ears work that way.
Yep.
Don't get me going.
Nectarius, evening gents. After years of gigging, I still get the same feeling of excitement every time I play live. I just love it. What about you? Nice one, Nectarius. Yes, yeah. Sometimes anxiety if there's problems.
Yeah, it depends on the gig for me. Some of them are a job, and
I gave up gigging not because of not loving playing music. It was because of all the other stuff. Yeah. I've said probably 1,000 times on this show, I would rather play the Dog and Duck for 50 quid on a Saturday night and have a good time than play some broad in a white dresses big day and sit around for 17 hours killing time and earn twice that. I'd much rather play a gig that I enjoy playing and play for fun. It's got to be fun. If it's not fun.
Yep.
Gary, could you recommend an amp up to £300 for at home? I currently have a Boss Katana Gen 3 and there's too much going on. Just want something simple with an effects loop. Would prefer solid state. See, I just think you can make the Katana simple. You just got to use the controls on the top. I think you'd be crazy to think that you're going to spend £300 and get something better than the Katana, because you won't.
Katana. I was going to say, can you recommend an amp up to 300 quid for home use? And the first thing I thought was Boss Katana.
Exactly. What about you? Yeah, you guys, what do you think? Do you think?
I was gonna, if not the Katana, I was gonna say the Yamaha, the THR series, because it has effects and everything. But if they're looking for an effects loop, it doesn't have one. So that's
what about the
Line 6 Catalyst? That's the answer. It's simpler than the Boss Katana, has an effects loop, and it's under $300. It's the only other competitor in that price point that I think you could go to.
But the Boss Katana has a master volume. No,
yeah,
I mean, so
yeah, I don't think it's a matter of volume.
Is it the in-menu stuff? It's all the computer stuff. I agree with that. I mean,
like a Catalyst, the foot switch for it is literally just a channel switcher. So you set up 2 different channels. There are some effects built in, but you can only use one at a time, I think. So it's really, really straightforward and simple.
But I think the Katana is, if you just dial it in on the top. I mean,
turn everything off. Just use gain, EQ, master, reverb. Perhaps.
I hear where you guys are coming from, but I also completely understand the mindset that if the options are there,
it's the lore of it's not finished until you're in that.
Yes.
I get it. Totally get it.
Sometimes you need to limit your options, or your brain can't function.
Understood. Yeah. Tamco, pedals and amps. Thanks, Aha. Actually, there are 7 different business cards that will get you 7 different pedals. Nice.
Ooh. Well,
mine's the silicon treble booster.
Can I put a request out? Can I have all 7 and I'll build them and do videos on building them?
Right.
I'll get the bits. Can you send me them? And I'd love to put them into pedal boxes and make them.
See, because now I feel like I need to collect the whole set. Like
I did that for a while. I built pedals for like a year straight in the garage and sold them.
We did. Yeah. I did the what they call fuzz dog ones.
Yeah,
they're great.
Yeah, I did the was it build your own clones? They had like a little sheep logo.
Yeah. Oh,
I was building a ton of them, man. I even bought
like a Hiko for them, by the way,
soldering system, and I was there plugging away at night, like mental, from my job, just so I can like zone out, when I got home. And it was great. I sold a lot of them, but it wasn't cost effective in the end.
No,
with those.
Sorry, Phil. What did you do when you
did? I was saying that they're gone. They closed shop. Yeah,
Build Your
Clone is gone.
Shame.
Yeah, it stinks.
Fuzz Dog do some nice stuff though. A lot of good stuff. Some of the pedals I built from their stuff, it sounds great with a bit of tweaking as well. A little bit going on. Good fun. Yeah.
Blue Note, evening fellas, evening Blue Note. Graham, 500 hertz. Writing that down. Charles, anytime.
Damn right.
Graham, the course supply the flies
files.
The files, so it's pre-recorded live drums for a session with the whole band. I see. The core supply the files, so it's pre-recorded live drums from a session with the whole band. Oh, okay. But it depends on it depends on how many tracks you've got, really. How many tracks because if you've got a stereo or 3 mics on the drum kit, or that everything's mic'd individually, then we'd probably be talking different.
I would still say your get out of jail free card there is Waves CLA drums.
I agree, and it's normally fairly cheap.
I think if you find the video I did on TSR, there's a link to it, and it gets you a discount code, and there's stuff.
Cool.
I'm glad you had the answer to that, because I thought that was like a secret code to get into a safe house from MI6. So.
Blue Note, could you recommend a relatively inexpensive desktop mic for vocals, please? Do you want USB or do you want XLR? So is it going into a preamp?
If it's going into preamp, I would say, to be honest, the Lewitt stuff's great. That Ray thing I reviewed last week, really good mic for
that's what this is. This is the Ray.
£299. If it's an USP, I would say this bad boy.
Yeah, one of these Shure MV. What are they? MV5s? What are they?
MV6.
MV6, which is a USB mic, so you don't need a preamp. It's got the preamp. It's got the preamp built in, and then you just plug it in by USB. It's got headphones. So really depends. Yeah, you can use that as a sound card. So you can actually plug headphones into it and then record. Depends on really what you're looking for.
But so the Lewitt stuff's great. There are as many microphones as there are days to have breakfast.
There we go.
There's way more than that.
Yeah, I was being.
Shahaba, hello mate. He says, "Evening guys, greetings. A whole loud sounds better is actually a scientific phenomenon called deflectometry." Yes.
Enjoy.
Move on before Javi gets started.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I'm just showing off that I'm educated. for a drummer.
Gold. Hi guys, watch the Michael Thompson interview yet? Some of the most beautiful, clean parts ever. Who did Michael
No.
Thompson?
Was it a Rick?
Don't know.
I'm guessing it probably was. If it was,
I know the name Michael Thompson. Am I been really? Don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't know. Unless it's Mason.
Yeah, it looks like he did a video with Mason over at Vertex.
Okay,
nice. Jeff, greeting from Brisbane. I'm late this morning because I didn't know what day it is. Now that I've been retired for a few days, well, happy retirement.
Good work.
Amen.
Well
Jeff.
Yeah.
Living the dream.
Time to buy some more sirs, Jeff. Electric Hour Works. Greetings from South Wales, New York, USA, where it's lovely and sunny, 13 degrees. How hot has it been today, James? Welcome, Chaz.
I think it's been pushing 24, 25 degrees here. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 27, which is, that's hot.
Yeah.
What's that in Fahrenheit?
Double it at 30, so it's getting on
84.
Yeah, hot.
It's currently 29 here Celsius. So, and this is our spring. This is nice.
Yeah. It's hot here.
Yeah, we'll live most of June, July, and August around 35.
Oh, yeah. We live in hell.
Are you Memphis or Nashville?
I am neither. I'm in like Starkville, Mississippi, which is about 4.5 hours south of Nashville.
Right. Okay. So neither of the above.
Yeah. I'm like 3 hours from Memphis, 4.5 from Nashville. So,
right.
Nick Debt, Sessions moved back some vintage speaker models from China to the UK. Paul, did you have any chance to try it? I haven't.
So no. that greenback that I have that I showed you last session, the one that was rebadged for Mojo Tone.
Oh,
that's a UK build.
Oh, nice.
It sounds killer.
Right. I'm going to say at this point we should do the news because I didn't see the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Let's do that then.
And only because the next comment I can really spot a mile off because the logo is really distinctive.
Okay. Right. First of all, there's a new PRS CE22. Now, my favorite classic PRS CE22 because it's a bolt-on.
You're making me do that bolt-on.
Oh god,
I was waiting for it.
Yeah. So this is a limited edition. I think that looks awesome.
It doesn't look very bolted on. It looks glued on.
No, that's a bolt-on, mate.
Show the picture of the.
Yeah,
okay, yeah, there it is. Yeah.
The neck sits pretty deep in it.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. The CE22 has always been a bolt-on.
All right.
Not cheap. Nearly $2,900 to £26. Lots of money, but I think that looks great. Nice for us to give.
That color is lovely. That finish is really lovely. That lighter blonde finish looks really. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
I always like when they leave the natural binding. I think that looks really cool.
It does, doesn't it? It does look good.
I think mine has that.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yes,
it does look really good.
Does.
Epiphone, new Epiphones inspired by Gibson. Which
I watched the whole video on it. I have one, and I was intrigued by the SG and the Junior, the double cutaway Junior.
Yeah.
And, and here's one of the things I think why they've done this, because some people are like, oh, this is a waste of time. Why would you buy one of those when you could buy, an entry level Gibson? Again, we talked about this. The pickups are like $500 alone that are in there, and they're really good pickups. The custom buckers, in my opinion, sound great. But I think this was, and Phil, you might want to chime in on this too. I think this was a way to get people to slow down on buying the Chibson stuff, because people want to be able to afford a really high dollar Les Paul, but it's so out of reach they can't afford it ever. And so this was a way to kind of go, okay, we're going to make something that plays really good. It's going to show up at your door. It's going to be really decent. And please don't go buy this $300, plywood piece of crap that's been spray painted over. You know what I mean?
I think these are the gap filler that Epiphone has needed for 2 decades.
Yeah, I agree.
So you've still got the regular inspired by Gibson line that has your $550 Les Paul, your $650 Firebird, your $700 335. Now you've got the next step up before you get into $2,000 plus. You've got that mid like $1,000 to $1,500 range where you can get the Gibson headstock, but it's Epiphone inspired by Gibson custom. You're getting the right electronics. This is the S2 line for Gibson.
Yeah,
I agree.
This is the equivalent to the S2 line that PRS makes.
Yeah.
And I'm still pleased with it. It's still here for everybody that knows me. I usually sell stuff really fast, and I still have it. And
also,
it
you can't buy a double cut special currently in the Gibson lineup without going custom shop.
That's correct. The same thing with this. You're not going to get this 59. It's this, or the next step is the custom shop with the custom buckers. You're not getting it. So
and there is no Gibson USA Firebird. There's only Epiphone and custom shop now if you're going to buy new.
And I will say, I know this is coated in poly, but for those of you listening out there, this guitar has massive resonance to it, and you could feel it vibrate when when you strum it. And to me, if somebody lied to me and I wasn't able to really check it out blindfolded, I would think it was a nitro.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as resonance goes, I could tell it's not, but it's
It's holding. Are these poly?
Yeah,
they are poly. They're like a satinized poly they did to try to make it feel and look like a nitro finish.
It feels like a thinner poly than the lower line Epiphone stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
I would take this Les Paul, the 60 Les Paul inspired by Gibson Custom Shop, over a Gibson Studio every single day.
I agree. I had people on some of my videos that I posted saying the same, asking that same question. And I'm like, I've had the Studios, with the maple neck and all that stuff. And I think that this is a better sounding playing guitar, hands down. And looking, even guitar. Looking, sure. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah. So not cheap. I mean, $1,300. Is that pretty much? So for the special, it's basically 1,001.
Yeah.
And the 335s are 1,200. Nice.
Yeah, I think it's a great price point.
And the thing is, with those, it's going to stop Paul saying, "I love it," but the dog of a headstock because it's got the proper.
Right.
Yep. Same.
Did I do this last week?
No.
Look at this.
I think you did something that looked like it, though.
Did I? Look at that.
Is it wrong that I'm not sure yet?
Oh,
that should be by a fountain at the Vatican.
I'm 100% sure. I love this so much. I'm not gonna lie.
I really like that. I do.
I liked the Black Burst paisley they did a couple of years ago too.
Look at that.
It's so good.
I think that looks great.
Seriously?
Yeah. It's gaudy. Don't get me wrong. It's absolutely it makes Graceland look like a peasant's home, but
well, you can't talk about peasants. You can't talk about peasants because we all know who's been talking about peasants.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I got to change all my entire lexicon.
Oh God, yeah.
But it's a guitar that's meant to be audacious. I mean,
it's Gretch.
Look at this.
Gretch. Yeah.
If this didn't have sparkle binding, it would look wrong because that's what it was meant to do.
Yeah. I think, I mean, if it wasn't a Gretch, I'd be like, what the hell is going on?
Yes.
But I think we're if that was like, I don't know, I can't even, if that was any other brand apart from Gretch, I'd be like, no, that's gaudy. It looks like some hideous Versace.
I like it. I love it. I like the head. I even like the headstock, the oversized kind of.
I love that headstock, and I love that they did black instead of matching it to the gold.
Yeah, that's cool.
I just think it's too much. I think the tuning keys are just ridiculously big. That truss rod cover is huge. Looks like a notebook.
That's true. I get. Yeah, I do agree with Vinny on that truss rod cover. That's a.
Because if you look, it's like the logo's so big, which looks cool, and then you got that truss rod cover there. It's.
How much is
they
it?
Should have made that black. But yours looks good, Phil, with the sparkles. It's different. I don't know. I don't like the tuning keys though. I'm not gonna.
Oh, okay. Not cheap then.
Oh no, not at all.
It's $3,500.
It's that typical Japanese player series price. That's what this
yeah.
list for as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you ever look at what's the new Steve Vai Gem guitar? It's not the Gem. It's called
The Pia.
The Pia. You know, it looks cool, but then the pickup covers with all the crap all over it. It's just too much.
I really want a Pia. I know.
I wouldn't mind having one. No, actually, I don't. I don't like the little leaf holes. I like the regular monkey grip.
Yang monkey grip.
Yeah, I like the monkey grip better. I grew up with that. I think it's
I'd way prefer a Gem. I'd way prefer a Gem than that Pia. The Pia is
all you have to do is see what Steve still plays live. He still plays the Gems. He still plays Evo, Flow, and the original. He hasn't swapped over to using nothing.
I wanted one of the original floral ones that came out. The original floral. That was cool, but they're so expensive.
The black. A friend of mine has one with the black with the pink and black up the neck. Really beautiful guitar.
Right, let's move. Let's get some more questions. We've got loads of questions. So, Zach, 5150 iconic 15-watt combo EL84 is announced for release soon. Nice.
That'd be cool.
Nice. Has any of you got one of the Tone King preamp pedals available to borrow? Buy it. It's a 12-week wait in the UK. Ooh. Wow.
Jeez.
That's cool. I mean, that's good for them.
Yeah. It's been a big seller. Shahaba. I wasn't ready for Steve's HDR outfit. Wow. Vinny, string, your fingers will turn black or your money back.
Relic strings, baby.
Relic strings.
Keith. Okay, Harrison live stream finished. Thank God for that, mate. That must have been painful. Back with the rats. Luke. At least I'm Mr. Beast fan. That is a bonus. That is a bonus this week. Have you banned him? Did you ban him?
I banned him last week.
You banned him last week.
I think that only bans for that show. It doesn't ban permanently.
Okay. Can I ask, how many beers are you in? Is this your third?
Yes.
Because you got a bit gobby last week on the wine.
That's right. I won't talk about that man.
Graham Campbell. I still use my I still use my Mac Mini M1. It can handle everything I need. Awesome. Yes.
I've got an M1 Mac Mini. It's awesome.
That's what I had before I upgraded.
Herb at 5-Star Studio. Hello everyone. I hope you're well and happy today. And you, mate. Hope all is well. Gibbs. Yes, I saw this. Don't want to ruin the punchline, but it's a little pricey. Guthrie crap. Yes, so I'm guessing we're talking about that guitar experience.
Yep.
Can I add something to the news? Is it okay?
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
I want to get your guys' opinion on this. So the band Ghost, this was in the news.
Yeah.
Did you guys talk about this already? With the
no.
So they did a thing over apparently in England and Birmingham or something. I don't know. Anyway, 60,000 people at a show. They're doing an anti-phone show. So when you get in, you have to put your phone in like a lockable pouch, and you cannot have access to it until the show is over, or you walk into outside designated areas where it unlocks so you can get to your phone.
Awesome.
Right? You think it's awesome?
Yeah.
What about an emergency? I just think of emergency.
There you go. See, me, from my background, what if you have an active shooter? What if there's an emergency? People need to get to their damn phone. And somebody will say, well, there's got to be somebody who's going to unlock that. If in a case of emergency, okay, that person might be dead. I just think, he wants people to experience the music without being distracted. It took over 90 minutes to get 60,000 people through the gate just to get their phone into the stupid plastic bag or whatever container it is. I haven't seen what it looks like. So it's kind of caused a little bit of a controversy. I have tickets for that show coming up in the States, and I am considering not going because I don't use my phone during the concert, but I damn sure want it in case of an emergency. Maybe that's me and my background. I see through different eyes than a lot of people. So
I think as well in the UK, we don't necessarily see that as such of an issue because we don't have the gun crime issue or the gun issue.
You don't remember the Manchester bombing?
Yeah, I remember all that sort of stuff, but phones didn't stop that from having a phone didn't stop that from happening.
Right.
People
I'm being chat monitor, but Dave Hardy just said Ticketmaster now basically wants you to use your phone as a ticket. I was just going to bring that up. So now this is your ticket. So you can't even say, oh, I'm going to leave this in the car because I don't want to put it in some lock thing, because you have to bring the stupid phone with you to get into the damn place. It's just, I don't know. I just think it's
the only thing,
bad idea.
As someone who's been that side of things, the stage side of things, we refer to them as blue-faced gigs, because all you saw was the blue faces of the screen reflecting on people, and you shouldn't. The thing you're watching is this big, not this big.
I agree. I understand
doing this at gigs and stuff, taking snaps, but I feel both. I get it, Vinny. I totally get it. I totally get.
That's why I asked and brought it up, because it is news, and I was wanting to get your guys' take on it, because I see things sometimes completely different than.
I'm with you, Vinny. I'm with you on that.
I just think that there's got to be a halfway. I think it was Dream Theater turned around midway through a concert and said, "Please, everyone, put your phones away. Enjoy the gig."
Well, and that's what I was thinking. Why not just ask everybody, hey, please, you know what I mean? It's just disrespectful, blah, blah, blah. You know, I think Jethro Tull talked about this in an interview once when they came to play the States for the first time. They said everybody was standing up in the concert like we do here, and he took that as a sign of it being rude, because you're really supposed to sit down for a show. You know, I remember reading that in an article. So I guess, I don't know what's the right or wrong thing.
I was about to say Jethro Tull was still gigging in the time of cell phones. I didn't know where you
were.
No,
cell phone. No, it was just.
No, but I mean, there is. It's funny. It's become acceptable for people for at the cinema to say, "Put your phones away." That's now part of the preamble to a film, isn't it? Put your phones away. So maybe it should be the preamble to a gig. Please put your phones away. It's crass. It's
I think
rubbish.
that's the answer.
I think that could be the answer. You know,
You
make
change-
it
the
the
culture.
norm.
Right. Have the culture of, like, if somebody's like talking during a movie, like, hey, can you please be quiet? Can you put that away? Like, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
If it becomes the norm, it's not such a weird thing. Then if there is an emergency or a situation, everyone's got their phones, so the emergency services and the police can have 55,000 different angles of the crime scene.
Okay.
Sorry to derail that. Go ahead.
No, not at all, mate. Not at all. Maisha Sabona, Robin Ford, Larry Carlton, and Mary Spender. Yeah,
it is a vibe. Love Mary, but that's a vibe.
Steve Cassidy, is it more expensive than running Jarvis PC for a day?
That PC is long gone.
30,000.
Yep, 30k, 30k. Man. Graham, me and Steve Cassidy will do guitar weekend here in Scotland for a $5. Chips and a can of Iron Brew included.
I'm there. I am there.
That'd be so good.
Yeah, they agree.
He's well up for that.
Yeah.
In which cases would you prefer a combo amp to a head and cab? Oh, that's a
head and cab every day of the week.
Go on, guys.
There have been some situations where crazy load ins, or just if I know something about the situation, where like multiple trips to the car to carry gear in is a problem, or there are some situations where I prefer a combo. There have been some gigs where I know that I have a converted Bandmaster Reverb into a Vibrolux. I'd rather just carry that in because it's real simple. Plug in, go. But almost always head cab. All of my two rocks are head cab situations.
I never preferred a combo because I don't like the tubes being in the same cabinet with the shock of the speaker hitting those tubes and the heat.
Yeah. I'm head and cab as well. Gibbs guitars. Yeah, for rich people, they probably don't even play guitar. Probably.
Yeah.
Mr. Barr. For 12 grand, you can be an assistant to Gene Simmons. Can you imagine? Jeez, that is ridiculous, isn't it?
Nice one, Shahar. Well
let me put 30. What was it? What did I say? It converted to $44,000 US, right?
Yeah.
The average household income in the town I live in is $40,000 a year.
There you go. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this is, and I mean, it is. Scotland has got some amazing castles and stuff, but Scotland is not known as I'm trying to be.
It's not a sunshine holiday destination, is it?
I'm about to say people don't plan destination weddings in Scotland.
Well, they very much do because of the castle.
No. What I'm saying is that there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for, James?
If they did it in a chateau in the south of France, all of a sudden 30 grand, you go, oh, that's not so bad.
Yeah. It's
not the destination.
There's parts of Scotland which are very, could do with that sort of money going into it.
Deprived.
Yeah, deprived. Yeah. I mean, Scotland's lovely and there's some amazing parts, but there's lots of deprived areas.
I mean, for 30 grand, I'd want to be in the Ritz-Carlton.
Mate, it's a castle. Come on,
I'd want to be in the somewhere that's gorgeous, and that, quite frankly, if I could phone down for reception, I'd get a happy ever after every time I put the phone down. That's what 30 grand.
What's a happy ever? Is it a happy ending? Is that the same?
Happy ending, happy ever after. Yeah.
Oh,
No, depending on the scenario, happy ending is a very different thing.
Dave Hardy said, "You have to pay me 30 grand to see Mary spend a Rod Chapman."
Stop me getting in trouble.
Yeah.
Stop me getting in trouble.
They're both very. They are both, and we'll say this
lovely
again,
people.
No, they're both lovely, talented people. They're very talented.
They're both extremely talented.
But yes, that there is a difference of you've got YouTubers and you've got Larry Carton and Robin Ford,
Right? And Guthrie Trapp. I mean,
exactly, Guthrie Trapp. Yeah,
Guthrie's a monster player.
Did you know any
17?
Yeah.
17, 22. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Keith, noise control. There are people who move into villages next to churches who have been ringing their bells since 1600s to complain about the noise.
I know. It's crazy.
They probably get mad when you dance around at midnight and chant too.
The camp with the difference. Never mind the weather. That's true. Steve says, "Well, the seagulls on the roof not wearing the appropriate footwear." It is brilliant. Mazuka Kai, don't mean to sound like a bummer, guys. Live music just become a different kind of tricky situation. We all keep doing our best. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
I saw Robin Ford play. I sat in front of him right in the scalding zone, and it was glorious. Yeah.
Was it 70 grand?
Joe Bonamassa or John Batt? That's a good question. Come on, guys. Come quick.
Joe Bonamassa, without a shadow of a doubt.
John Mayer every single day.
Vinny?
Bonamassa, because I like the suits he wears. He's got like some super class.
He does do the Italian mafioso thing really well.
If you can get Bonamassa to wear the watches that Mayer's wearing, it's like on point.
I think I'd rather. Oh, it's tough. I think I'd rather see Joe Bonamassa.
I just like the fact that there's Joe Bonamassa who goes to guitar safaris and turns up in his baseball cap looking like he's just fallen out of a guitar store, and the guy who walks on stage smoking Joe with the slick back hair and the sunglasses and the 335, and come on, because he's like, he goes from being everyday guy to rock star or blues star.
He's definitely he's a good businessman. He's a good businessman.
Yeah.
John Mayer
I started to like him when he did this like the Marshall DSL like advertisements, and he's like, here's how you set it, kids. He's chewing some gum and he just takes all the knobs and just cranks them all up high and just starts jamming. You're like, dude, that sounds awesome.
Yep.
You gotta give the guy props.
But he could play a Sun Mustang 15 with a Squire from whatever, and it would still sound like.
Phil, you tried to say something.
Mayer writes better songs every single day, twice.
I agree with you. I've got to agree with you.
And ultimately, I go to hear songwriters, not guitar players.
I was going to say, we're going to go about music here, Phil. What are you talking about?
Andy H, yes, can say I purchased the QC captures and they sound ace. Thanks, Andy.
Awesome. Thank you.
Also, hello all. Cheers, Andy. Hello, mate. Thanks again. Chris Spiegel, Orange, are some amps in that price range.
They do.
That sub 300 thing.
Yeah.
And they don't sound good. They don't sound good at all.
There's the small one, Phil. Is that little?
Yeah, I've tried a couple in the Crush range, which I suspect is the ones that Chris is talking about. Maybe they work for somebody else. I think they sound awful.
I think the thing is also worth remembering is there is a thing called secondhand.
Yeah.
And 300 quid secondhand can get you a lot of amp at the moment.
That's true.
Jeff, read Gary versus Katana. You need to be mindful that Gary can't see the controls on the top or anywhere else.
Oh,
Yes, I seem to remember. Maybe I think Gary might be blind, or certainly sight impaired.
Oh,
then that makes a lot of sense.
Yes, it does.
Very much so.
Yeah. Then in that case, you said Catalyst, didn't you, Phil?
yeah.
Yeah.
Also has the controls on the top, though.
Yeah, but less of them.
Yeah, less of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say sell all your stuff and buy a Tone King Gremlin. One control, and it's got an attenuator in the back, and those things sound awesome straight plugged in.
Has it got a effects loop?
No.
Nah.
No.
Chris, my local pub in Greenwich, Southeast London, has live music every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Nice. And Sunday with the odd notable musician. I absolutely treasure it. The governor is in his 80s, by the way. Oh, that's great, isn't it?
Chris, which pub in Greenwich is that? Because I used to live in Greenwich.
Hollywood, how come you guys haven't reviewed Katana versus Line 6 Catalyst? It'd be great to hear Paul's opinion on the Catalyst. Only because Line 6 tend to ignore us. Line 6, yeah, Yamaha. We had some good meetings, and we met with Rob, who's the guitar player that does their demo. He's fantastic.
Amazing, lovely guy, great player. Yeah,
it was Rob, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's Rob. Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. And
if it's not, sorry.
And yeah, just there's lots of brands like that. There's sometimes. So yeah, they sent one up. Keith, I miss Singapore. Many of the clubs there had live music. Nice. Clemson, he had no idea. Keith, Mike's. I have a Lewitt Pro, which is LCT 240 Pro, which is pretty nice.
Great mic.
Guitar Hoodlum. I'm using an HS Stomp as an interface and standalone ToneX app. Not getting a good sound. Can you give me some tips? Thanks, guys. I'm using an HX Stomp as an interface and standalone ToneX app. Not getting a good sound.
It could be because you're either not hitting the ToneX software hard enough, or you're hitting it too hard. On the software, there is an input gain attenuator thing, so make sure you're hitting it in the sweet spot.
Can I go down a different route? Sometimes not getting a good sound is perceived when it doesn't feel right. So have you sorted out your buffer size and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah.
Try and get your buffer as low as possible. 16 samples.
32 samples is the magic number.
16,
no one.
Yeah. Actually, maybe ToneX can't do 16, but
32.
32. So 32 samples. Yeah, just down as low as possible. Just try that. And I don't think that the majority of the tones that come with ToneX sound that great. So it might be worth just having a look at some other sort of third party.
Check out the studiorats.net on our downloads page. Click on ToneX, and you will find some amazing tones to play.
There's plenty of other people that make it and stuff like that. Just have a look on ToneNet, and you can choose.
But he's on our website. He's on our live streams.
Also have an Aston Spirit, but that's a bit more spendy.
You can get an Aston Spirit dirt cheap on Fleabait.
Yeah.
Fleabait, yeah.
New Epiphone gateway drug could be, yeah.
Great. Nice.
He says with his Epi 335, nice.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Jeff, double it and add 30. It only works. Yes. So that's the temperature. Yeah, temperature thing.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I just get good at it. I know 35 is 95, and I can usually work around from there.
Yeah. Keith, read phones. We survived a gig for decades without phones, although the queuing aspect is silly. Yeah. We did that one earlier.
Yeah.
Vincent went to see Joe Bonamassa at the Motorpoint Arena in Nottingham, UK last Saturday. It was loud. You could feel the sound vibrating in your ribcage. Awesome. I mean, he would have hated it.
Last time I saw, or the fact the last time I saw Gary Moore was on the White Snake were headlining. Gary Moore with Scars, and I could hear the two TSLs on stage through the 4x12s over the PA.
Oh.
glorious.
I'm very protective over my hearing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to lose my hearing.
Well
you know?
done, mate. Yeah,
Well-
you should be, absolutely. Nick Torres, a 5-way selector switch on a Strat is option paralysis. All you need is a telly. Change my mind. Well, you don't get that position 4.
You don't get position 4.
But then you don't get on a normal Strat wiring, you don't get position 1 and 3. Do you? Like you do on a telly, like the middle position on telly, which is great as well.
It's like golf clubs. It's for a different thing. That's how
You know what? If you're going to go that far, just get rid of the switch entirely. 1 pickup, 2 knobs, rock and roll.
What the hell is
I
that?
want
It's a
one.
Novo. It's a Novo, right?
Novo Solus F1.
Oh, nice.
I had 2 of those. They're really nice.
Yeah, it's nice and light. Just great.
What they call a tempered pine, right?
Yep.
Which is like a
Yep.
roasted pine.
This one is a tempered pine, maple neck, rosewood board, and soon I'm going to be adding a Glazer B bender to it.
Oh, that's going to add to the weight of that.
Yeah, well, the Glazer doesn't have to carve out as much. It's just one hole and a cable, and it's not as much gubbins to go into it.
I was about to say, surely you're taking
won't
enough
add much.
timber away to counteract it.
No. So it won't have the plate on the back. You won't even see it. You'll have, except for the bridge itself, where they change one of the saddles, you won't even notice that anything's been changed.
Nice.
So I know Neil. He's the new owner of Novo and the other one. And Neil got in contact. So Neil, if you're watching this, you promised you'd take me out for lunch, and we were going to talk guitars. We were going to talk all about the Novos. So
didn't we meet him in GC in Anaheim?
Huh?
Didn't we meet him in Guitar Center in Anaheim?
Yeah.
Well, Neil, if you want to take me out to lunch, I actually own Novos. So
Remember, Neil, you told me you were going to give me a couple free ones.
right.
Shahar Bar, love the irony of Vinny being an ex-police officer and having a soprano-worthy nickname. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
There's no irony there.
Yeah.
By design.
And, you know, I worked on a firearms range as a lead instructor for 20 years out of my career, or almost 20 years of the 29 years. And I will tell you that being on the range all day with very good hearing protection, I would come home and I would have, in my opinion, was ear fatigue. And I could not dial in a decent tone or hear like I could if my ears were rested. I know this sounds so stupid. My ears are rested for the next day or whatever. Wow. I had a hard time dialing in a tone. So I think that going to loud concerts and all that stuff, people don't protect. They want to crank everything. And in the end, I think you pay for it. I really do.
Mate, I don't think that's super short. I think that is, yeah.
These are my new best friends.
Yeah, I've got a set that I take to every show I go to.
Yeah.
My molds, they are,
Yeah.
And I still contend that PRS anniversary concert at NAMM was the loudest concert event I've ever been to in my entire life.
Wow.
The loudest thing I've ever heard.
Wow. Jeff, the phone bag is common, though normally at comedy shows. I guess Ghost could qualify.
Yeah. Oh, harsh. It just got cooler in here with all that shade.
Tim, I'd like to see some better choices for the modeling amps out there, like the Katana, Catalyst, Spider, etc. I think some company could make a better sounding modeling amp.
Katana is a pretty damn fine sounding thing. Paul and I were talking before we came on air. One of our biggest videos of the entire channel was the time that we had the Katana, the Matchless, and my Marshall DSL in here, and we dialed them all in to sound pretty close, and then said, "You guys guess." And do you know what? It was
loads of people got it wrong.
Yeah,
I think, the Katana sounds great to me.
I think the Catalyst sounds spectacular too. I really, really do.
The Spider now.
Has anyone got a silver tie and a tank we can drive over one with? Bill clearly gets the silver tie reference.
Yeah. Also, my brain went in two different places. Do y'all remember the Cyber Twin?
Yeah.
The Fender Cyber Twin?
Yeah.
Oh, what a complete and utter piece of shit stuff.
there's been quite a lot of there's been some horrendous.
Yeah.
come out.
Yeah. I mean, Line 6 used to make the
Flexstone. I had a Flexstone 3.
Oh yeah.
That was more supposed to be like a better quality spider.
Mm.
Nah, rubbish. Luke, not allowing you to bring your phone is far too invasive for me. It's up to the audience what they do. It's not school. That's true. Yeah, good.
Yeah, I agree to all these things, but there is. If you could say to the audience, look, please don't get your phones out on video. Go online to YouTube and watch it on you've got better cameras. I just think it from a player's point of view, looking out there and seeing a bunch of blue faces where no one's paying a blind bit of attention to what you're doing.
Yeah, but those people are paying for that. You know what I mean? If they were putting a concert on for free, then you could bitch about it. But it's just like, listen, I paid my $200 so my 14-year-old daughter can see this crap. Like, just shut up and play. Don't worry about my phone.
But that's not what it's about, is it? That's not what.
No, I understand what the musician is feeling. They want people to pay attention to what they're doing. I totally get it. I'm with Luke on this one. Luke, good job, Luke Maple.
We're going to argue about this. I can see we're going to argue about this one. So.
Okay, we've got 10 minutes. We need to get through some stuff. Andy, so many people miss the show trying to get the perfect reel. It's true.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know why people would want to film it. I don't get it. I'd rather enjoy it. Shahar, by the way, Tool had no recording thing for the past decade, and it works by asking nicely as opposed to I guess if you've got a following like Tool, maybe the person that lifts up a phone is going to be scolded by the audience.
The audience will be self-policing. Yeah.
How good a Tool as well. Just
yeah.
Every time I listen, it's so good. Neon Black, just tuned in. I'm going straight to Paul. What's your favorite Marshall amp so far? I see you got something small from AMS amps in the background. Cheers to all. Marshall amp. So this is the DBA 50. It's like a Plexi and a JCM. They're really good. Marshall amp. And if you want something more high gain,
the Talon.
The Talon's good. The Talon's good. It's the Talon's good. It's not like
it's gonna be the amp we just bought. That will be the greatest Marshall you've ever heard, I think.
A Soldano SLO, loads of fun to play through. Neon Black, above question is for all the guys too. So you guys, what do you think about best Marshall amp?
My JCM 900 that I had.
Wow.
The 900 dual gain, dual reverb was amazing.
It's got to be Marshall, by the way.
Marshall.
I like Friedman.
Awesome.
I really love the divided by 13 AMW 39. I had one for a little while. I want to get another one at some point to be my Marshall amp.
We just sold our one.
Yeah.
Sold our one to get them up.
It would have cost me too much to have you ship it over here.
Yeah. Not the right transformers either.
Yeah, I'd have to get a step down transformer. That's just too much trouble.
Keith, Graham and Steve's Guitar Weekend, the Loch Ness Monster Jam. Nice.
Oh, very good.
Very good. Oh, sorry. That was my fault, James. Sorry. Endorson, a Mark III combo with an EV is a killer load-in. The 3AM loadout. Yeah.
The densest things in the universe are Imploding Star and a Mesa combo with an EV.
Yeah.
I don't know how anything this big can be that heavy.
Oh, no. Even worse than that is the hardwood Mesa.
Yes.
Remember them?
Yeah. There's one for sale locally, Mark IIB.
Oh, nice. In is it like a pretty wood, or is it just like this the mahogany looking one?
I think it's just the standard wood. It's just standard wood. But
with mother's basket on the front.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it's lovely. Hollywood, Steve, great news on the Mac. Once you settled in with it, you'll get an iPhone to match.
He's right.
Jen, sorry if this is a dumb question. There's no dumb questions, but how are you using mics without headphones and not getting echo? The software that we're using, which is called StreamYard, which is a streaming software, has an echo cancelling,
and it's pretty good.
But Phil still wants to wear his headphones because he's got hair and he looks cool with headphones. Vinny and I we haven't got hair, so we look.
No, we got that rear wing on the Ferrari gap that runs in here, right?
Exactly.
Between the headband.
Is that what you call your DRS?
This is just how I always do it, so I don't think to not do it this way. So
It makes sense. Herb, Paul, you mentioned the Bosch GX video about scenes and mentioned that it would be in another video. I've been able to find that. Can you help, please? Or to be honest, I haven't done a GX video for quite some time, so I'd have to go through. I'd really have to go through the videos, but I'll try and have a look. If I remember, I'll have a look next week.
Great.
Grigor from Adventures in Gearland. He said, arrived to see all laughing about Simmons making a few quid. Death, including Keith Richards. Taxes and Kiss squeezing every cent out from an opportunity.
Oh yeah.
Including Keith Richards.
It's the things that are inevitable.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, he hasn't died, has he? I was like,
No, no.
He's going to outlive all of us, mate.
Dude, he died in the 80s. Just nobody told him.
Session Gold says Rich from Tyler confirmed they'll do a loaded pick guards for the JTG with all the signature Tyler bells and whistles. I really like the idea. What do you guys think about it? Well, I've been told by Rich that a loaded pick guard, so with the preamp, with everything loaded into it, just the pick guard is $1,400.
I was going to say 1,000, but that was.
So
Session, I have a pick guard being made by them for my JTG, so hopefully have it in a couple of weeks.
But that's not loaded. I take it that's just
no, that's me replacing. I think the pickups sound really good, to be quite honest with you. I'm not.
Yeah, great.
I died just a little inside.
Yeah, expensive job. Just got a Schecter. Nick Johnson said, Jeff, Strat this week. I've been missing out for years. Well happy with it. Nice.
Speaking of pickups, the pickups in those guitars sound fantastic in the Nick Johnson guitars.
Those guitars are monster good.
Are they?
Not just at the price point, they're good. It is probably my favorite guitar Schecter has ever made.
Well, they keep coming up with the occasionally they pop up their custom shop. Nick Johnson.
There's like 3 different or 4 different stages of that model. Yeah. I like the one that's got the Wenge neck on it.
Yeah,
I think that looks pretty cool.
The one I've played is in the like I don't know $700, $800, $900 range.
Yeah, that's the lower tier one, but those sound really good too.
Yeah,
that's not Nick Johnson.
I know it's not, but I had a what's it called?
Epiphany.
That's the one. I was going to say a polyphony, but that's something completely different. You know how Paul's been doing his series on the Ultimate Super Strat?
Yeah, he sold it to you.
Yeah. You know, I think it is because every time he comes, he goes, "I shouldn't have sold that guitar," and I go. Every time he plays it, he goes, "I love this guitar," and I'm like,
"And I shouldn't have sold it for the price I sold it."
And you know what's funny? I watched the video the other day, and I went, "He shouldn't have sold that guitar."
This is now my number one. And if you'd said to me a year ago, a Schecter is going to be on, I'd have gone, "Get out of here!"
But that's a USA custom shop one. That's not.
Yeah, that's a different level. That's a totally different. What's the term? Kettle of fish.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
Blue Note, Toman do a little 1-watt valve amp. It has a volume and tone only, and I think it has effects loop, but apparently sounds great. And it's about £100. Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah, cheers for the tip.
We should get one.
Yeah, we should actually. Jahaba says no hard fast rule on number of samples. 32 as mentioned. It's dependent on CPU power. Yes.
But, it is. As a general rule, 32 is a good number.
Yeah. Try and get it as low as possible. And if 32 is the lowest number, that's what you need to achieve or try and achieve. Chris, Jivey read pub in Greenwich, the Morden Arms Brand Street, not far from the station.
I know it well.
Steve Casardi, he says, Hollywood, cheers, mate. I won't be getting an iPhone anytime soon. The next 6 Christmases.
Gotta pay for that studio.
Wow, we've got loads of questions. Let's get through them.
We're getting there.
I have ACS. Yep, good investment.
Yeah, awesome.
Andy, custom fit earplugs. Yes, definitely. Yeah. Everything sounds the same when listening to it on YouTube through your smartphone log.
Amen.
Dave Hardy, Motorhead, Ace of Spades, 80 gig. Wow. Now that was bloody loud. Mine's Joe Bonamassa gig. Sounds like a church band.
Landon.
He says, the Studio Rats, happy birthday. What are you talking about, happy birthday? What's going on? If it's not this year, sorry. There's always something.
Yeah.
Everybody hit the like button.
There's always something bizarre from Landon.
Please do.
Yeah, give us a like, everyone. It really does help. Sorry, we keep forgetting to ask for that sort of stuff. But
Oh, I already did it.
thanks, mate. Nice one. Chris Spiegel, what do you think? Selling my Helix and Quad Cortex from XFX 3 or FM9, keeping the dual Tonex pedal rig? Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I love Helix. Do that though.
XFX 3 is the better shout, but if you want the built-in controller, FM9.
Yeah. Can also say just before we start to wind down, Phil's podcast is 40 Watt Podcast. Go and check that out. And Vinny's YouTube channel is called Vinny the Axe. So go and check that out as well. Highly worth watching.
And the other Studio Rap channel is called Drivey Talks.
Drivey Talks.
Just
Go and check out
Tone.
James' channel. Sorry, James. Yes. Steve, if our singers had their phones banned, would either be a backing track band or could reimagine some 80s pop classics with a bit of scat singing.
Yeah, I've worked with those bands.
Jeff, everyone knows if you don't film it and put it on FaceTubeX, it never happens.
Yeah,
It's true.
Steve,
Some greeting going on.
Yeah,
yeah.
lots of loveliness.
There we go. Look at this. OG Fire, make fire good. Definitely the PV Rage.
It's like PV Bandit, but not quite.
Right.
Yeah.
No rat quotes this week, but I did miss a chunk.
Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. We've got some of the greatest stuff to come.
A good one. Nelson P. Chris Spiegel, love the one you're with. True.
That's true, but
Session Gold, the USA loaded pick guard is 1,400. My understanding is they'll do a Chinese loaded pick guard, which will be cheaper. He wants to keep the cost down. Nice.
But it will have a 125% import tariff on it.
So it'll be $17.95.
I mean, the James Tyler pickups are great. I'm sure that the Chinese ones are fantastic as well.
I'm a pickup snob, and I tell you what, I think they sound really good. If you want them to sound like a 60s vintage style single coil, that's not what it is. And you buy those guitars to get that 80s thing. So it's I think it's a different tool in the toolbox. Just like the Kelly versus whatever.
I completely agree, actually. Yeah. Dude, no, you missed it one, James.
Oh.
Dude, my Schecter Elite with sustain nick has become my workhorse. Nice.
Awesome.
Andy Yates, Ron Ellis set is 750. Might as well just get a blank pick guard and Ron Ellis to save money. Yeah. So Andy, and my James Tyler has gone back and is coming with a set of Ron Ellis pickups in it. So it'd be interesting to see how that sounds. Pez looked at the tone with 1 watt 5 watt amp. It's an 8-inch speaker. It's 8 inches enough to satisfy.
There's the call.
James, what's your wife say about that?
it'll get the job done, but ultimately you're gonna wish it was a little more.
Exactly.
I'm going with, as you Americans would say, I'm going with the 5th.
Herb and Fireside You. Thank you, Paul. Everyone has a great rest of your week and outstanding weekend. And to you, mate.
We'll do our best.
Landy's brilliant. I hit the light.
Hit it one more time. One more time.
Yeah.
One more.
Twice. Is this another comment?
Right, here we go. This is the important bit. This is awesome.
Yeah, those two are comedy.
Stupid comment of the week.
This is, as you Americans would say, a doozy.
Boys and girls, now we try and keep.
Oh, can we just say, if anyone's, I doubt if you have it, mind you, the UK it's 10 o'clock. But if there's any kids watching, can you put the kids?
Can you look away now? This is
post.
This is a post watershed moment.
Yes, we're giving you the warning now. There's going to be some bad language.
Cover your ears, baby.
So
it says, okay, so this was on a video for the Amplified Nation Wonderland Overdrive. He said, try demoing this at a gig. These demos are fucking useless. So basically, it's like, it's the most crazy thing. How are you going to demo a YouTube? How do you make a YouTube video demoing an amplifier? No, we're going to say, look, excuse me, Mr. and Mrs. Newlyweds. Do you mind just stopping a second while I just talk about?
Just get the camera out and
yeah, it just makes no sense. the whole idea of a YouTube demo is to, go through the controls and say, right, this does this. It sounds like this. This sounds like this.
In a controlled environment. So
you know what you do? You just stop right in the middle of the song. And you're like, and this also has an effects loop. So we'll turn it around and we're going to show it to you. Right?
In the middle of the first dance.
Yeah.
So I basically said to him, I said, we do, every on our live show, we do stupid comment of the week, and you, sir,
you are it. So that, ladies and gentlemen, that was
stupid comment of the week.
And anyone who's interested, shooting that video with 9 4K frames was the only time my MacBook M1 has ever thrown a paddy.
Right. Should we? There's a couple more. Should we do a couple more and then or
boom? Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for the great. Cheers, your heart. Look away. They're going to try out the 8-inch speaker. That's all. If you feel that strongly about free demos, go buy the pedal yourself and try it.
Yeah. Amen.
I love demo videos. Thanks, mate. Quality.
We have our moments.
And Lee's turned up at last.
Hey!
Oh, look at that. He does exist.
He does. Mint show, lads. So thanks, guys. Thanks, and thanks to Vinny and Phil for joining us as well.
Of
As I
course.
said, Vinny the Axe YouTube channel, 40 Watt Podcast. Phil's got a YouTube channel as well as the podcast, so go and check that out. And James's YouTube channel is TSR Jivey Talk Tech. It's all written there.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure, as always, to share my Wednesday evening with you boys. It wouldn't be the same without you lot, quite frankly, because it's a laugh. We don't do this for money. We do it for fun because we just do. So thanks, Vinny. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Mr. Drew, for, as ever, keeping me on the straight and narrow.
Well, you have 3 beers and then you go off.
We'll be back next week with more of the same of this guff. So if you fancy joining us, we've averaged over 100 people all the way through the show.
Hey,
Which is the first time for a while on that front. Back next week, more of the same. Have a great one, everyone. Take care. If you're gigging this weekend, may your audiences enjoy the show and not look at their phones all the way through. We'll see you on the other side. Take care. Have a good one. Night.
Bye.